So you want to shoot film and you don't know what cameras to buy. This might be the video for you. Or not.
Kodak film for the times of your life.
In the past few years, there's been a resurgence of film photography, and I wouldn't blame just anyone for bringing it back.
You brought your camera?
Yes, I did.
This is the one you use now?
My little contact.
And that's how you take that beautiful photo?
But looks like it's here to stay, for a few years at least, until Kodak decides to pull a Fuji and discontinue all their film. It may be difficult because there's hundreds if not thousands of cameras out there. Well, I'm here to give you some suggestions on what cameras you should buy. But no one cares what I think, so you might as well click away now. Please stay. So where to buy film cameras? I live in Singapore, so Peninsula Plaza would be a good place to find film cameras. You can check the quality on the spot, but it can be a little bit pricey. In general, I recommend eBay or Facebook Marketplace. eBay has a lot of Japanese shops which really keep their cameras in tip-top conditions, but make sure to buy a camera that has been film tested. If not, you're going to have to refund the camera and continue your search again. So I'm going to cover 3 categories: point and shoots, SLR/rangefinders, and medium format. I'm not going to bring up large format because that's a whole new level of film photography by itself. Let's start with point and shoots. Like the name suggests, it's easy to use. You just point it and shoot it. If you're the type of person that likes to take photos casually of your family, your friends, your dog, your cat, or even a little mouse that can cook, here's what I think is good. If you're on a tight budget and looking to dabble into the world of film photography, I recommend cheap disposable cameras. They give that party flash vibes and sometimes they give very nice images. If you're looking to shoot film for a longer period of time, I wouldn't recommend disposable cameras because plastic lenses have very bad quality. So I'd rather you spend a little bit more on a normal point and shoot camera with a better quality lens that gives you better photos. I'd suggest the Olympus Mu1 and 2, the Nikon L35AF, the Canon AF35ML, if not, the Yashica T2 and T3. And maybe if you picked up all that loose change in between your couch cushions, you can buy one of these, the Yashica T4 and T5, the Contax T2 and T3, and the Nikon 28Ti or 35Ti. Next up, SLR and Rangefinder cameras. These are cameras with more manual functions, are able to shoot more detailed photos with more depth of field due to that larger glass. So in short, there are 2 types, which are SLR and Rangefinder cameras. SLR cameras are single lens reflex. The image goes through the lens, gets projected onto mirrors and straight into the viewfinder. What you see is what you get. And when you press the shutter button, the mirror goes up and bam, the image gets projected onto the film. Rangefinder cameras, on the other hand, is different. You compose the image usually through a viewfinder on the top left hand side of the camera and focus on a focusing patch. You don't see the exact image projected onto the film, but it's roughly there. So again, if you're on a tight budget, I recommend the Minolta series X370, X570, and X700. If not, I'll recommend the Canon AE1 program, pretty much everyone's first film camera, the Pentax Spotmatic, Pentax K1000, or the Olympus OM1. If not, Canon has built many modern film cameras that are pretty cheap, that also adopt your modern day Canon lenses. And these cameras give auto exposure and autofocus. If you have a little bit more budget and looking for that TikTok style camera with a waist level viewfinder, yes, I'm looking at you. This is for you. The Nikon F, F2, F3, the Canon A1. if not some old Russian camera that could do it too. Some honorable mentions in this category will be the one I personally use, the Contax 167MT, but it's fully electronic, so I recommend the Contax RTS, because Carl Zeiss built some lenses that are sharp as fuck. There are others like the Contax G1 and G2 that works like a rangefinder, but have auto exposure and autofocus. I have the Contax G2 and I personally treat it like a point and shoot camera. And the only two cameras out there that shoots true panoramic, the Hasselblad X-Pan or Fujifilm TX1. Both these cameras have a second version to it. And of course, the daddy of all 35mm film cameras, the Leica M6. Or any other Leica cameras for that matter. I'm sure anyone that's learning about photography has heard of Leica. There are many medium format cameras out there, but they shoot different formats. There's 645, 66, 67, 69, and 612. That's panoramic. In medium format, you have SLR, you have rangefinders, and even TLRs. 645 is a good format for beginners because it's very forgiving per shot. You get 15 exposures for every 120 roll. Here's a list of how many exposures can these formats take. So a good beginner medium format camera. If you're into square photography, I'll recommend the Yashica Mat 124G. If not the Yashica C. If not the Yashica D. For rangefinders, I recommend the Fuji GS645S lineup. It's very easy to travel with because it's a compact medium format camera. For SLRs, I recommend the Mamiya 645. There's a few types, so pick your poison. You can never go wrong with Mamiya glass. I've had the luxury of shooting every single one of these cameras and I would highly recommend any one of it. If you're looking for a more professional setup to shoot more portraits, or to have a weapon to protect yourself from people who are trying to steal your gear, try the Pentax 6.7 or 6x7. With the 105 Takomar lens, you can create images that have a slight large format look to it. If not, the Mamiya RB or RZ 6.7. And of course, if you bought Dogecoin a few years ago and sold it at peak 70 cents, you can buy one of these, the Mamiya 6 or Mamiya 7. If not, the Hasselblad 500cm Gold Edition. Well, that's all for my recommendations. At the end of the day, it's more about the film stock and the lens rather than the camera itself. Then why did I even make this video?